Hey, welcome back guys. It's time to carry on with our journey as a cocoon master, and it's time to finally make some of those cocoons of use now and go back to Mother Grai's house. We're going to purify these cocoons, so let's just talk to Mother Grai first, see if she's got what else to say.
Ever since your father disappeared into the forest, Chorus has been taking very good care of Cyrus. However, he promised to do so only until you came of age. I think it would be best for you to study under him.
Okay, so we can finally talk to her about the different stuff, so we'll ask her about cocoons.
Empty cocoons are normal silkworm cocoons. They've not been changed in any way. Capturing your prey into empty cocoons is the foundation of the cocoon master hunting technique. But fierce minions cannot be imprisoned right away. First, you must weaken them and pacify their spirit. That is where your swordsmanship comes into play. Once you have weakened them, play your flute. When the minion hears your melody, its spirit will seek tranquility and thus become captured in the cocoon. Cocoons that contain an imprisoned minion are known as firefly cocoons.
Yeah, so we already know this really, don't we?
A cocoon is a cocoon in which a minion has been captured. But do not be deceived by its beautiful glow. It has only been captured, not tamed. Its curse has by no means been removed. In this state, you cannot summon the minion within nor spin it into silk. If a villager tries to spin a firefly into silk, they shall be doomed to die by its curse. Removing the curse requires purification by the divine magic of my people, the Nagi.
So that's where our wife comes into play.
Once purified, a firefly cocoon becomes a white cocoon. You can use the magic beast by summoning it from a white cocoon. Summon the magic beast to fight in your stead by playing your flute. The power of a summoned beast shall far exceed your swordsmanship. Every divine beast is composed of one of 4 elements. Fire.
Yeah, we already know that.
The true cocoon master has a good command of these elements. Also remember that white cocoons can also be spun into...
So we already know about that, so that was just telling you. We don't know about black cocoons, so I don't know what to tell you about that.
Black cocoons are the cocoons of ruin. They are cocoons that do not belong in this world. The difference between black and white cocoons lies in their method of purification. Purification by a Nagi woman yields a white cocoon. But if a man purifies one, it will become a black cocoon which will bear an evil, dark beast. The Nagi man who purified it shall become possessed by the black cocoon and be transformed into a beast. Everything a black cocoon touches is reduced to ruin. Even the cocoon master. The black cocoon is the ruin of people's hearts. You must never give in to their dark powers.
Okay, so don't go over to the dark side. Let's see if she can tell you about our father.
That was soon after I left the Nagi village with Mabu, who was yet an infant. I came across a wounded man laying collapsed on the ground. He was a cocoon master. He was gravely wounded, but my treatment revived him. The man thanked me and produced a flute from his pocket. He said that he wished me to deliver it to his son in Cyrus. Then he disappeared into the depths of the forest, just like that. That man was your father, Riquetz, also known as the Lion of Peril. And so it was our fate to settle down and live here in Cyrus. Perhaps this too was the will of Elrum, god of the forest.
Yes, it doesn't really shed any light on what happened to your father, but I suppose that'll be good enough for now. Well, let's go and purify some of these cocoons, and I'll probably spin 2 of them.
Don't overdo it until you get better at hunting, alright? Try talking with Mother Garai if there's something you don't understand. But I'd watch out. Her stories can be long and boring. But don't tell her I said that.
You stood right in the same room as her, or sat.
Our enemy we love, and for the tormented we pray. Grant us, the beasts of knowledge, the power to touch the spirit.
Damn, she's got the power of amplification. You need the microphones. Right, so let's see what we've got, because I don't know if they're exactly the same. No, one's slightly stronger. So you can actually view them as well. And so we've got him. We've got the kind of bug one, Skawasp, and Patamel, that's also a bug one, just slightly different colour. So I'm going to do the first Skybe. That's going to be spun into silk.
O warrior of justice, return to whence we came, to the place of Elrum. Grant us our daily bread.
There you go, and you get a cool little psychedelic light show every time you do it. I just noticed as well he's got like Popeye arms. Popeye forearms. So we got a little bit of money. I don't think it gives you a great deal of money. We've got 3 cocoons to take with us, and for me to level up. That's about all I can do. You can merge them, but I think I'm going to leave that until
Well, good luck.
they've grown a bit.
I'll always be here if you need anything.
So I'll go and sell some stuff at the shop, and then I think what I might do is listen to the stories that the old man's got to tell, and that'll be the end for this video. But first we're going to go to the town shop. I've gone past it. And we'll sell the silk. So let's shop. back we'll sell. So the cloud silk. Silk thread spun from a white cocoon gives off a shine that grabs your attention. 7th highest grade of silk. So the more powerful the minion, the better the silk that you get from them. So we've got 150 simoleons, so now we've got 300 yan. We'll have to buy ourselves a few more of those. And I think I'll buy an extra item to help with our defense. Because I think a headband I can use. I think you do get some kind of armor at the end of this level, so I'm not gonna use the armor just yet.
I don't have. What?
So let's go shopping. So we'll buy. Oh, it's just a leather vest. I thought there was an over here, a leather headband. I'm not too sure if that's what you get actually from the thing, so I might actually leave it. Because I'm going to wait and see what you actually get from the forest. Because you do get something from this beetle forest, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. It could be the headband, so I don't want to waste 100 yan if I'm going to get one for free. But I'm just going to go and talk to this old guy, because I thought I might as well show you the... stories and put them on the end of this video, and that way if you want to watch the stories you can watch them, if not you can stop watching at this point if you're not really interested. But it does go on for a few minutes, so...
Those clothes become you. You look just like Riquette's when he was a young lad.
So this is the legend of Arcana. So I'll just shut up and let you hear it, because this guy will tell you the story.
This is a tale of the kingdom of Gehenna Pali that stretched across these lands long ago. Once upon a time, Prince Menek, son of King Karis, set out with his vassals to hunt in the forest. But in the forest they were enveloped by a thick fog, and the prince lost his way. Wandering aimlessly about, he happened upon a marsh from which grew an enormous tree. Thereupon he heard the sound of sobbing, but he knew not from where. He found a maiden sitting all alone. She was weeping by the marsh. "I am Arcana. I just buried my mother here in the marsh of Uban," she said. And then she looked up at the prince. He was overwhelmed by her beautiful eyes. The maiden stole his heart that day. It was truly a fateful meeting. Thereafter, the prince made frequent trips into the forest. Undoubtedly, he was paying visits to the maiden. The maiden had a strange power. She could talk to the insects and trees. Before long, there began a terrible rumor that the prince's heart had been stolen by a witch. One day, the maiden spun silk from fairy cocoons and wove it into a beautiful cloth for the king. But the brilliance of that cloth cast a shadow upon the kingdom. The king was so enthralled by the fairy silk that he sent his soldiers into the forest, where they ravaged for fairy cocoons. The fairies, still in their cocoons, were boiled alive. The king killed them so he could have their silk. The prince pleaded with his father to stop his cruelty, but the king was no longer the man he had once been. Prince Menek was charged with treason and imprisoned in the king's deepest dungeon. He was never heard from again. When the maiden learned of the prince's death, She cursed her fate and lamented the foolishness of man. She then cast herself away into the marsh where her mother lay. As she started to drown, a voice from nowhere whispered to her, "I am Elrum. I shall grant you your wish. Tell me what you want," said the voice. The maiden told Elrum all that weighed upon her heart. The maiden said, "Greed bears destructive knowledge. Its wicked power shall be the end of the forest. All hope is lost. The beasts of knowledge shall never live in peace with the forest. The one light of hope, who I so loved, has perished at the hands of the beasts. I now go to where my love Menek awaits." Thereupon Elrum spoke again. "So you claim that your true love was torn asunder by the greed and hatred of the beasts of knowledge? When light is swallowed up by darkness, I shall unleash ruin upon the land, returning all to the nothingness from whence it came. I have a firm grip upon the darkness in your heart. From that day forward, demons appeared in the forest, terrifying all they came upon, and the kingdom of Gehenna fell to ruin by the swarms of Onibubu, locusts of apocalypse. The demons that haunt the forest now are the beasts, spawned by the greed in man's heart. Once upon a time, this forest was a paradise for the divine spirits who served Elrum, god of the forest. The forest people are the incarnation of Mammon, the divine spirit of knowledge. When the divine spirits created man, it was Mammon who bestowed knowledge upon them. But man used his knowledge for the pursuit of ruin. In the end, Gehenna was destroyed because man aroused Elrum's wrath. Bestowing knowledge upon man troubled Mammon greatly. In order to prevent the mortals from causing further destruction, to this day he lives in the forest, protecting it from the foolish ways of man. If you act not in destructive ways, surely Mammon shall bestow upon you valuable knowledge. We are in good hands with you as our cocoon master." Once upon a time in a faraway village, there lived a woodcutter who always boasted of his strength. It is said that the woodcutter wanted to test his own strength by felling the tallest tree in the forest. He hastily ventured deep into the forest in search. Meanwhile, the forest told the great tree of the woodcutter. The great tree sighed deeply, lamenting his foolishness, and he continued to sigh. And before long, the breath of the great tree became a thick and heavy fog which shrouded the forest. The woodcutter soon lost his way. He grew so tired wandering about that he soon took a short rest. Just then, sweet-smelling fluffs began to float down from above. All who would smell their sweet scent would fall fast asleep. The woodcutter couldn't help but to fall in a deep slumber, and there he lay, snoring great snores in the middle of the forest. For 3 days he slept. On the morning of the 4th day, a birdman flew down to where he lay. He spoke to him. "I'm the strongest, you always say. One fight with me, if you may." But the woodcutter remained fast asleep. "You can try to sleep if you must, but I shall wake you with my dust." As he spoke those words, the birdman sprinkled a glistening white powder upon the woodcutter. With that, the woodcutter sneezed a great sneeze and jumped to his feet. The surprised woodcutter shouted, "Who on earth are you? I warn you, I am incredibly strong, and I will battle right now." The Birdman replied, "You can't defeat me, but if you do, we can be friends, and I'll share my powder with you. It cures all illness and turns old to new. I got it from the forest people called the Yamu." The woodcutter tried to grab the Birdman, but the woodcutter had been asleep for 3 days. He was too hungry to hold on. With one flap of his mighty wings, the Birdman blew the woodcutter all the way back to the village. The woodcutter told the villagers all about the strange Birdman, but not a soul believed him. From that day on, the woodcutter never again boasted of his strength. The divine tree. It is the earthly form of Elrum, god of the forest. It is said that all in this land began with that tree, but no mortal has ever laid eyes upon it. That is, except for Gi, prophet of the Nagi. It seems the prophet Gi saw the great tree in his dreams. It looked just like a huge tree that had been turned upside down. That is why it is also called the Upside Down Tree.
Makes
Nagi
sense.
legend says that their accursed fate shall be released when the dragons of light and darkness appear before the divine tree.
I am the Nagi prophet, Gi.
And this is the bit where the game starts to glitch, and it plays this bit that's from the beginning.
The one who shall lead our accursed nature to repose. That brave stature. It is just as the hunter.
This is the bit where it just, it's like a glitch. And there you go, it duly glitches in the background as well.
Story. I know you're busy, but come by any time. I shall always be here.
So there you go, if you come off this screen though, the glitch will go, and that is an actual glitch that's in the game. After running my actual copy of the game, it even appears in that. And those little stories, basically, it's telling you the origin of the forest minions, the Prince Minak story, and the Forest Maiden. That's showing you how minions came about in the first place. And the other one's kind of, I think it's something that's to do with the Calabash herb, I think. The strange powder that Birdman used could be the Calabash herb, I'm not too sure. But I think there might even actually be an appearance from a Birdman similar to the story in the game, from some of my hazy memories. But anyway, that's all I've got time for on this video. On the next video, we'll be going back into the forest and leveling up some of these minions that we've got. But thanks for keeping up with me this long and having patience in that long little video sequence, and I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.